Hey everyone, welcome to the video series of Amazon Data Analytics Specialty. Hope you guys are doing well and staying safe. In today's video, we'll talk about how can we access Amazon S3 CLI, Amazon S3 by CLI in Windows. So without further ado, let's start. In today's video, we'll cover the following topics. So we'll start with the installation of AWS CLI in Windows. And when I say AWS CLI, like it can be used for other the other AWS services, but we will cover only S3 commands here. And then we will configure our AWS account with CLI. And after that, we look into the S3 commands, which we can run via CLI. And finally, how these commands can be used to get data into S3 buckets. So let's begin with the installation. Okay, let me jump directly to my GitHub page. So I have already documented the commands which we need to run for the installation, configurations, and all those things. I'm going to post the link of these GitHub in my video, so you can refer from there. To install, for the installation, please copy paste the following MSI exe command in the command line. So we copy this, open our command line. Okay, let's paste it here. So one second, sorry, I already got the C drive here. Let me remove this. So this command, but basically what it does, like it's start installing the AWS CLI. So as soon as you enter, like it will open this window, like a Windows installer. I'm going to cancel it because I already have AWS CLI. But after this, like you just need to do as pretty much we do with the, like with any software, we just like click on next, and finally it will be installed. Okay, so once the installation is done, just to confirm the installation is done successfully, what we can do is we can check like the AWS version. So I'll go here and type AWS version. And you can see like it says like which version of AWS CLI is installed, Python, and what kind of like bunch of other information. So this is a way to check like if AWS CLI is installed here or not. If it's not, like you will get, okay, AWS command is not recognizable or something like that. So now so this is the step to install the AWS CLI, which is pretty straightforward, like just 2 commands, or honestly just 1 command. After that, you have to do pretty much like any software, just click next. And finally, once it's installed, use AWS version to check if the installation is done successfully. So the next thing is we need to configure our AWS account with CLI. So for that, there is a command. So before we configure, like before we configure, what we need to do is we need to create a user in our AWS account and give our S3 bucket full permission to it, so that we can access that from AWS CLI. So let's jump to the AWS console, and from there we will add the user. So once you log in into your console, you will see whatever is the recently visited services here. We want to when we want to create a user, we need to we have to use our IAM service. So let's go to IAM service, click on this. If you can't find it in your, okay, so first I need to log in, or you need to log in here. And I have enabled like a multi-step authentication. So like I just go and open my phone and enter the code which I got in on my phone. This is like a new feature. I won't say new feature, like this is a feature you must have seen in a lot of like applications where uh, like if when you have to log in, like you have to authenticate from your mobile, either using like whatever application they are trying to use. Okay, so that's once you log in, let me go to, okay. If, as I say, once you log in either through your frequent services or through search, you can come to identity and access management, just click on this. And after that, like because we have to create a user, so click on users. I already have one user which is already configured, but I'll show you how to create a new user. So you click on add users, give it a name. So we'll get ABC, next. And after that, like you can see, we have to give some level of permission to this user. As I was mentioning, if in this demo, uh, we're going to like run the commands against the S3. So we need to give some level of access to the S3. So what we need to do is just we can, so there are like various ways to give the permissions. So we'll use the attach policy directly. We click on this, search for S3, enter. So here is the list of policies which we can apply to the user in like in S3. So here we will give the full access because it's just for the demo. In real world, or like I'll say in your organization, that is something I won't recommend to other than like admin or root or the developer team kind of thing. So, but for the demo, we'll give the full permissions, but depending on like what kind of user is it, like is it just like is it somebody who can read the objects from the bucket, then you have to give different permission. Is it somebody who can upload, and based on the like roles you can give it, and depending on groups also these policies can be assigned. But here we just create this, click on this, like click on next. And now what we need to do is basically now like the user is created with this policy, and when you click on create, it will create it. But there is one thing, like this user still don't have any like access key, because to access S3 you need a secret key and access key. So for that, what you need to do, go into the user, click on security credentials, and you will see access key. So click on this, create access key. We need this for command line interface, CLI. Select that, click next. Oh, sorry. Select I understand, click next. If you want to give a tag, give it. Otherwise, I think it's optional. Yeah, it's optional. Create access key. So here you will get the access key and secret access key. So the one thing, like either you can copy paste it directly, but what I recommend, just download the CSV, and in this CSV you will have both these access key and secret access key, which is important to configure our AWS account with AWS CLI. So once this is done, click on done. So now you have a user and access key related to it and security access. So now the console task is done, and now we'll head back to command prompt one more time, and now we will type for configuration is AWS configure. So you see, it will ask for the access key first. So as we have already installed the access key, I'll just open it. Well, this is my old account, but let me open this new. It's taking some time. Or yeah, it is. So you can see it is pretty like you have just access key and security key. So you click on access key, select this, copy, and you could have copied directly from there too. But just to keep it for like have a local copy, that's why we downloaded it. So access key is there. Now it will ask for a security key. You ask for a security key, copy, enter, and after that, like it's asking for the default reason name, which is basically US East 2. Just you can enter, and same thing for default output format, that's JSON. If you want, you can type it, otherwise enter. So now your AWS account is configured, but the first step is how we can sure like if it is configured or not. So we just type this AWS S3 ls. So basically what we are now, what this command will do, this basically list all the buckets which are in S3. So if it is configured properly, we will see the buckets, otherwise we will see the, otherwise we will get some error. So if we click enter, it's taking some time. So here we see we have two buckets here, data tech demo 2121, and the other one is 4 times 2. So now we'll go to our console and check whether we have all these buckets in our S3. So I'll go back again here, click on S3, and you can find we have these two buckets there. Okay, so here we covered two things here. It's like first we verified like our account is configured properly, and the second is we learned like one of the basic commands of S3, which is list the objects list the buckets of an S3. So let's look up into some other commands. I go here, click on this. Okay, so now our installation, so after our installation configuration is done, now we can start using the CLI commands. As you saw already, we looked into AWS S3 ls command, which is basically to list the buckets of the S3 account. But we can do more using this ls command. Like it can list the buckets and its contents. Basically the contents are the objects. So I'll copy this and paste it there. And one thing you need to keep in mind, like these are like 4 different commands. Let me increase the size so you can see them properly. So you see here, these are like 4 commands. The first one is basically it will list the bucket. The second one is it lists the if we run this, like it will list the objects of this bucket. And the third one is recursive. If we have a prefix or a folder within this bucket, that it will recursively shows the objects of that too. And the last one is just to make it more human readable and summarized. So if you're coming from Linux background, these commands will make more sense to you. Okay, so what we do, we basically copy this and run. Let me go here, paste it. So it will run one by one. So you can see first we listed the the first command listed the buckets, second command listed the objects, third command listed like recursively. So you must be wondering like why we have recursively, still like anything under logs is not showing. So from we can that means that the logs folder have no objects in it, and we can double check that from the console too. Okay, so before I go, so this is the 2222. We go into 2222. So here we can see we have 2 objects with the name car AD1 and 2. And if we go into logs folder, so there is no objects. So that's why even after using recursive, like it's not showing any objects from this folder, and because this folder is already empty. And with human readable and summarize, like you can see it just give you more information. Instead of like 37028 the size, it will be in KB, and like the size is more human readable now. Like it's 36 KB, 35 KB, 0 bytes, instead of like just a bunch of numbers there. Okay, so that's the ls command. The next command is the copy command, which is used to copy objects. Oh, sorry, let me go to my, yeah, here. Okay, before we go to the copy command, I just want to show you a bunch of other commands, which is to make a bucket and remove an existing bucket. So if you want to create a new bucket, that can be done using like Amazon, using CLI too. So if we copy paste this, and you can see like this is like 22223. So we'll paste it into our CLI. Okay, let me clear this. Sorry. My bad. I use Unix too, so I got confused because in Unix, like it's clear. Okay, so here you see AWS S3 MB means make bucket, and this will be the name of the bucket. That will be 22 and 223. So here, like this command will make the bucket if like it follows the general rule, because as we know, like whenever we creating a bucket, it has to be globally unique. If nobody else is using this name, it will make a bucket. Let's hope nobody's using it. Enter. And yeah, so you can see make bucket. It created the bucket data tech demo 22223. And now we can confirm it from our CLI too. Let's go to CLI, click on buckets, and refresh it. Boom, awesome. So you can see that like the new bucket is created. Sometimes like you have to wait for a couple of seconds because it take time. And here like a couple of things you need to keep in mind, like which you must be observing here too. So any bucket you're creating from CLI, and if you're not passing like more parameters and configurations, it will be public by default. Like all the objects in it will be public by default. As we like whenever we creating a bucket through console, those buckets are not public by default, but any bucket which is created through CLI will be public, like their objects will be public. Okay, so next step, let's go to the commands one more time. And so this command is basically creating the bucket in the region, in the default region. So we are in US East 2, so it will creating bucket in that. But if you want a bucket in a different region, then you have to pass the region parameters and the name of the region. So now jump to remove command, like removing any existing bucket. So what we will do, we created this 22223. We will just remove this, copy, and you go, 1 second, sorry. We go to our command prompt, paste it. So you can see remove bucket, and now to confirm, we'll go to CLI. As we can see, we can still see because we haven't refreshed it. Once we refresh it within a couple of seconds, if it's already there, it will go on, but it should, yeah. So you can see it's already removed from here. So that's like remove bucket command. And now we jump to the copy command. So the copy command is which is basically a typical copy command which we have used in our like a Linux system. Here, the copy command is used to copy objects from object into the bucket, and also the other way. So basically, if we have like an object locally, we can copy it to the bucket, and if you want to copy an object from one bucket to other buckets, that can also be done. So this is like one of the ways to get data into S3 buckets. Like if we use this command, like a S3 bucket, we basically uploading data into S3 buckets. If you remember from like my last video, there's like 4 ways to like upload data. One is through the console, which we already seen. This is the second way. And there are like two other ways, like transfer acceleration and SDK, which we'll see in the upcoming videos. And one thing keep in mind, like whenever we running a copy command and the file size is big, by default it will do like a multi-load kind of thing. And when all these multi-loads are done, it will be assembled on S3. So that's like a smart thing S3 do automatically. Okay, so let's check one command here. And if you look at this, like it's pretty straightforward. The syntax is pretty straightforward. AWS S3 copy the file name which you want to copy from your current directory to the wherever you want to copy in your bucket. And in the same way, like you can give the whole path if the data is not in your current directory, and or even like let's say if you want to copy one folder to your bucket, that can be done using this recursive. And like these are the various ways. It's pretty straightforward. We will check only one. We'll do this, and rest of them are pretty intuitive, like makes sense. We'll show this one. So what we are doing here, we copying hello world.txt into this logs. So one second, let's go here. Okay, just do dir here because it's Windows, so we have to do dir instead of list. And I just want to check if we have this file. Oh, so you can see we have hello world.txt in this folder. So we can copy paste this. And before copying, I just want to show you that we already seen it, but do we have any files in logs folder? If we click on this, you can see currently there is no object in it. So next thing we can do is we can copy this, enter. You can see the upload happened to this. And now like two ways, either we can confirm it from here, but we'll go to the console. We just click on refresh, and you can see hello world.txt. You can see we are in the same bucket and in the folder where we trying to copy this. Okay, so copy command, let's go again. Rest of them are pretty intuitive, like it's just like various things you can do, like from a local folder to a bucket recursively, from a bucket to bucket, or from a bucket to local folders. Like you can do like various things with your copy command. The next command is the move command. Move command is to move files from one location to another, basically like one object to local or other way around. So the difference between the move command and the copy command is basically, it's pretty same as the copy command. The major difference is once you move the file will be deleted from the source and copied to the target. In case of copy, you are not actually deleting anything. It's basically stays in your like in the source, like you creating two copies there, like one in the source, another one in the target. You're copying into the target, but with the move command, like it move from source to target and the file will be deleted. So this is also pretty straightforward, and you can do pretty much what we can do with copy, like copy from your local to your bucket and other way around, and even recursively. The difference will be as soon as this command finish, your file will be, or your objects will be deleted from the source. The next command is pretty straightforward too. Remove command is to remove any object from the buckets. So what we'll do here, we will run this command. This command is basically to remove hello world.txt from this bucket. One second. Before running this, I just want to make sure, like, do we have that there? If we go here, so I don't see that file is here. What we can do here is like copy paste, and one second, sorry. So we know it's under logos folder, so logs folder, so we'll do this. So before running this, I just want to show you So if we go under logs folder, we have hello world.txt. And now what we're doing, we are removing hello world.txt from logs. So click enter. If we would have run it like before without logs folder, like we would get an error like object not found. So here it is deleted now. And let's go back, refresh the page, and boom, there is no like the object is removed from the location. Okay, that sounds good. So we are clear with the remove too. Now we look into the sync command. So this command is used basically to synchronize the contents of a bucket and a local directory, or even like the contents of two buckets. And it's a very straightforward command too, where like uh, as I said, like you sync whatever content is in your local directory to the bucket. So I'll show you one. Let's start with this. Copy here. So here basically we have a local directory named data sync, which whatever data is present in data sync should be loaded into data tech demo 2222 bucket. So if we go to the bucket first, so if we look into the bucket, sorry, this bucket, so we have only 3 objects here. So one is car underscore AD1 CSV, 2 CSV, and logs, where we don't have any objects inside it, just prefix. And let's go to the local directory name data sync. If we go here, sorry, my bad, there's so many things that are open. Oh boy. Okay, so this is the local folder. So here you can see we have car AD from 1 to 15, and then we have one JPJ file there. So if we run this command, like it will sync whatever we have into this bucket. So if we press enter, it will upload like 15 files. So you can see that like it's uploading. It's not like they're not given in the order, but like it's uploading all these files, JPG files, and all those stuff. Let's go here and check. Just refresh, and you will find all the files which were in the data sync folder are present here. So you can find like all the files which were there are uploaded now. So that's the purpose of sync. Now let's look into the last command, which is one second, let's go here. This is the like exclude and include command. This is basically a parameter, and it is used to filter the results using include, and like these are used to exclude the to filter the results. And we can use this with like these commands like copy, move, sync, and remove commands. So here I'll show you one copy command, which basically what it like I'll copy. Like if you look at this command, basically from here to here it makes sense to you. And there basically it says like anything under this data sync folder, copy this into the logs folder recursively, that include .jpg. So anything under this folder, and if it have like subfolders underneath it, it will copy that too. That's recursive means. But anything like all the files under this, all the files and folders which have JPJ will be included into the logs. And if we look at this data sync folder, we have only one file.jpj, and that will be copied to this location, the logs one. So we will go and first check if we have anything in logs. Logs should be empty. So you can see there is no object, and in data sync there is only one JPJ. So that file should be copied there if we run this command. So let's go to git copy this, and let's run it here.